Cue the sun.
I got mixed up in something.
Mixed up in what?
There's no point trying to explain it, but a lot of strange things have been happening. Maybe I'm being set up for something. You ever think about that, Marlon? Like your whole life has been building towards something? Was nothing real?
You were real. That's what made you so good to watch. Listen to me, Truman. There's no more truth out there than there is in the world I created for you. But in my world, you have nothing to fear.
Object to is you automatically treat me like an inferior. Well, I am king. Oh, king, eh? Very nice. And how do you get that, eh? By exploiting the workers. By hanging on to outdated imperialist dogma which perpetuates the economic and social differences in our society. If there's ever going to be any progress...
There is some lovely filth down here. Oh! How'd you do?
How do you do, good lady? I am Arthur, King of the Britons. Whose castle is that?
King of the who?
The Britons.
Who are the Britons?
Well, we all are. We are all Britons. And I am your king.
I didn't know we had a king. I thought we were an autonomous collective.
You're fooling yourself. We're living in a dictatorship. A self-perpetuating autocracy in which the working classes...
Oh, there you go, bringing class into it again.
Well, that's what it's all about. If only people would...
Please, please, good people. I am in haste. Who lives in that castle?
No one lives there.
Then who is your lord?
We don't have a lord.
What?
I told you, we're an anarcho-syndicalist commune. We take it in turns to act as a sort of executive officer for the week.
Yes.
But all the decisions of that officer have to be ratified at a special bi-weekly meeting.
Yes, I see.
By a simple majority in the case of purely internal affairs.
Be quiet.
But by a two-thirds majority in the case of more
Be quiet. I order you to be quiet.
Order, who does he think he is?
I am your king.
Well, I didn't vote for you.
You don't vote for kings.
Well, how'd you become king, then?
The Lady of the Lake, her arm clad in the purest shimmering samite, held aloft Excalibur from the bosom of the water, signifying by divine providence that I, Arthur, was to carry Excalibur. That is why I'm your king.
Listen, strange women lying in ponds distributing swords is no basis for a system of government. Supreme executive power derives from a mandate from the masses, not from some farcical aquatic ceremony.
Be quiet.
But you can't expect to wield supreme...
It was as though this plan had been with him all his life, pondered through the seasons. Now, in his 15th year, crystallized with the pain of puberty.
I've been seeing stuff.
Donnie is experiencing what is commonly called a daylight hallucination.
Every living thing follows along set path, and if you could see your path or channel, then you could see into the future, right?
Because you never know what life is gonna take you, and you can't change where you've been. But today, I have the opportunity to choose. I choose to be the best that I can be. I choose to be authentic in everything I do. My past don't dictate who I am. I choose, yeah, I decide. I choose to be the best that I can be. I choose to be authentic in everything I do. My past don't dictate who I
This is you. Now imagine you're in a bubble, and you are always inside that bubble. The bubble is your thoughts, your hopes, your dreams, and also your fears and your shortcomings. Your bubble is formed by external influences. It comes from the outside. Your parents, your friends, your environment, and everything you're exposed to. Our culture is a culmination of values and experiences of everyone who lives and has ever lived. The collective mass of everyone's bubble is culture. The culture mass bubble pushes against your own personal bubble, and in turn, we push back. It is never static, rather, it is always dynamic. The system is in constant flux. Although your bubble is formed from external influences, you can always make your bubble bigger to individuate yourself in the bubble mass. In many ways, individuating yourself is a good thing, because you're an autonomous being. By being an autonomous being, and through self-determination, you can exercise your own morality and rationality. You sculpt your own critical consciousness and push back on the other bubbles. It is your Vernunft, and you become your own personal being in the whole scheme of things. However, you should be wary of individualizing your bubble, as it will eventually have negative consequences. If you push and focus so much on your own self, your own bubble will become so big that you start to choke the bubbles of those around you. You are no longer interdependent, but independently lonely. You lose sight of other people's bubbles. You don't even recognize them as people with their own bubbles anymore. They are mere specks in your isolated space, and you end up living a life of loneliness. In this bubble system, another negative consequence can be seen in the opposite of this. When you take everything in without question, your own bubble becomes choked by the massive bubbles around you. You lose sight of your autonomy, and you are no longer individualized in the culture bubble mass. You, in turn, become an unrecognizable dot, getting constantly pushed by the other bubbles around you, and never pushing back. So what can we take away from all of this? What we need to do is find the optimal size of our bubble in relation to the other bubbles around us. We need to realize that each bubble is its own autonomous agent, affected by and affecting the bubbles around it. We are constantly pushing back against other bubbles, and other bubbles are continuously pushing against us too. Our bubbles are both sculptors and sculptures. Take a look at the bigger picture. The culture bubble mass grows and pulsates. This is what our life journey is. There is no end. The journey is the destination, and the constant flux of bubbles is part of that journey.